Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. Welcome to Back and Forth with Jaime and Gerald. This is season 3, episode 23. And for this wonderful episode, we're going to be talking about The Magic Begins, and it's an update because I went away. I did some work on it. Y'all have seen the videos, right? So, yes.
What is all that?
That is the chat.
Well, thanks. Thank you. Thank you. I have it in 2 places. Thanks.
Yes. Well, I have it there because it actually, there you go. Here. What chat? What are you talking about?
Thanks. I felt overshadowed.
Did you? Oh, we can never have that. We can never have that. So, this amazing person is Jaime, Wandering Mountain Bardic Path. And
That's for Beth.
That's for Beth.
Jaime hallucinating again. Thanks, Beth.
Yes. Timmy, hello. Timmy is going to be getting an email from me this week about a show. Anyhow, oh yes, and they get to see themselves, Jaime. It's actually really beneficial for when I'm simulcasting a show, so that all of the chat shows up there.
You have me.
I have you, and I don't know what else I need.
There you go. Thanks.
So, I'm TarotStache. Thank you for being here.
Hi.
And Jaime is. It's May is over. Oh,
it's sad.
That's sad. That's very sad.
So on the last day of May, I shaved my head.
There you go. Okay. Yes, I like the string of pearls with the haircut.
I'm clutching my pearls today, Beth.
Clutching her pearls.
I did almost choke myself earlier, but whatever.
We were trying not to do that. So, thank you everybody for being here. There are amazing. Oh, wait a minute. Here, see, I'm in a different environment. So, thank you to the best chatters, the best lurkers, the work lurkers, and the future lurkers.
And the cow counters.
And the cow counters. And welcome to the overachievers. It's great to have everybody here. So, and as always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance. Really. So, yeah, don't pull an Isadora Duncan.
No.
It is important to remind everyone to like and subscribe because it's free. I've been hearing from some people because the month changed. Some of their subscriptions they're not working. Just make sure you're subscribed. It's that easy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anything you'd like to say, Jaime? May is over gay?
No. You already know I shaved my head. I have coffee in my cup. I got pretty cards in my hands.
Which deck are you shuffling?
Oracle of Oneness.
Just got mine. I just used mine yesterday.
It's a
hi, Sheila. Good to see you. So, Jonathan's here, Garnet, Beth,
Aloha.
Russ Bob's Barbara, Pamela Batchelor, Timmy, I said hello to, Kaylee, Amanda Carroll, Cottonwood Hart, Joanne Miranda. So this is going to be, Jamie, when we got backstage, Jamie said, exactly what am I doing?
I did.
And I said, you're going to be looking at the Magic Begins progress, and you're going to be asking me questions. So you get to do the interview. So up. Pamela has iced tea to sip.
Nice.
Debbie is here. And Nancy shaved her head 5 or 6 times. It's incredibly liberating.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to flip my camera a little bit. So
flip your lid, will you?
Flip my lid. Flip my lid. And then I'm going to do this. I think I can do that. So that way you can see everybody. So this is the Magic Begins project.
This is the collection of the items in which you will use your reference and your fabric.
Correct. I have, this is what I took with me, and everything that I worked on came from this. I am going to remove this so that people can see a little bit better.
Cool.
So here's this. This is the inspiration photo. This is for my great nephew, which is a lovely photo. And as I described, I was looking about this differently than I did before. I was actually working on sections. So for those of you who've seen the video, you saw, and the second one where I suddenly went, And with that being said, when I went, we'll get there. So here's a piece of sky. I want to know how to do this. I think what I'm going to do is push things like this.
Gerald says hi, Linda. I'll say it for him.
Oh, hi, Linda. So here's that inspiration photo. And so I was working on this, and this was a different experience. Here's the sky. And then...
And they can only see the bottom quarter of the photo, just so you know.
Yes. Here,
okay.
Let me get rid of that so that you're not distracted by that.
I didn't know if you were laying it up against it for them to see, because I'm like, they're not going to see shit.
Yeah. Okay. So, I did this weird thing where, and I don't know why I did this. So this is where I was like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes those are very helpful, but require more work. Well said, Amanda. So I have this, and so as I was working on this, I was like going, oh, the sky is going to be one section. This mountain is going to be another. This is that mountain range. These mountains are going to be one. This is going to be another one. Here's this, and then we have the foreground. Okay. I don't know, Jonathan.
Do we? Sip, sip.
I don't have words for that. So, sky. And then this is where I was working on the mountains, because I did mountains the first day. They just weren't. They didn't appear dark enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it didn't give good shadow.
Yeah. So, and you can see, I don't know, you can see that. And what's great is this fabric right here is the back of like one of these fabrics. And I think that does a pretty decent job, sort of mirroring right here.
Yeah, I agree.
And it does look like denim, but guess what? It's not denim. This is a printed fabric. It was a leftover, or a remnant. So I'm playing with it, having a lot of
Unless
fun.
it's tie-dyed, but it's like a batik type, isn't it?
Well, it's not really a batik. It is. It is a. It. It looks like, you can see that it looks like water,
Yeah.
but when I hold it back and I put it in this context, it looks like a mountain. So, do the larger blocks for background, add details with smaller blocks, thread, scratch, and embellishments. That's oftentimes how I have done it. This time I decided to, let's do something crazy and different. I'm not exactly sure why. So,
sometimes our creativity evolves.
sometimes one hopes that that happens. Yes, I'm not sure if this has evolved completely.
Oh, you've definitely done an evolution only because of that big piece that you did. I don't think that you would have been thinking that way if you hadn't started this project. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Nancy. So I also have this fabric to be able to layer back there if I decide to make it a little bit bigger. So here's this mountain right here. And because this mountain has trees on it.
Yeah.
And so if I put this sort of like this, wait a minute, you can't see that. Do that. Sort of get that feel. Maybe.
Absolutely.
So, and so this was interesting because if you can see, I was stitching a whole lot of stuff. I was with it. Then I thought, this is a really nice fabric because it I can tell it's trees.
You get more texture that way too, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
And
move it to the left a little bit, away from this. Yeah.
you want to see it just like that?
No, just to the left a little bit. So if you look at your mountains and you look at that, so on the, show your picture. So you see, gosh, I'm touching the screen and you can't see my finger. So the second set of mountains, which was the first set of mountains you showed, there's a little bit of a white face. Yes. So there's,
Yes.
So there was just, it was the second set of mountains with the trees was just a little bit too close when you laid it out. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Not quite so much gap, but you have a little bit of V of sky. Yeah. Yeah.
There is.
Yep, right there. Yep.
So yeah, there's space. So
I love this. I so love this. It's so fun and clever and yeah.
So and then I thought, some of you saw the video where I was actually creating texture that could be for the trees. And I was gathering the stuff so that they could actually have a range of colors right here.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact,
so the light meadow and then the trees, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nancy, that's the way to go. She said, put it on my big screen TV.
Yeah. And Timmy, it might need to go higher. You are absolutely correct. So I created these. I did some gatherings because these are this just because I have trees here and here and here and here and in the back. And what's interesting is right here, these trees, it's darker because
Darker.
this to make it pop.
And catch the sunshine.
Yeah. And Joanne, yes, I have created lots of folds before gathering some, and I love this fabric. I think this is going to be really good for some of this and some of this.
I think that fabric would be really good for some of those Utah pictures because like from the water up the mountain face.
Yes.
That totally looks like the distilled or diffused colors as it comes off the water.
Mm-hmm. And at this point, I am not getting rid of anything. So
Cottonwood Heart says the texture is yummy. Absolutely.
I agree. So there's all of that. I've got, there's different tones of it and all that good stuff. So there's that. But I also was.
Hey, Gerald.
Yes.
Do you do commissions?
Not really, because I don't want people to wait that long.
It's Nancy asking.
Yeah. But if people want to send me inspirational photos, I
never know.
There's no guarantee. But so the process is I'm using this wash away stabilizer, and this wash away stabilizer is one that allows me to have some surface in which to create and then wash it away. Now, you can see here, I've just got different stuff pinned because that's like.
Is that fencing down front or what is that?
Where?
Right where your thumbs are.
Here?
Nope. Left hand. Yeah. And then over just to the right. See the little posts that you have pinned down? They look like posts to me. Yes. There we go.
Oh, no, that was a placement because I was thinking these things.
The trees. I gotcha. I was just trying to figure out in the photo what it was, where it was starting at.
Yeah. So, the Great Wall, that would be an amazing piece.
For sure.
So what I did was I got to the point where I was doing all of the pieces and parts, and then I went, okay, now I'm starting to do these trees. I actually like this in relation to the tree. I think if I were to move that, that's going to be enough to give the idea of the trees.
The illusion of the forest.
The illusion of it. And what I will do is I will use a lot of thread play as I gathered these and then I snipped them. I don't know if you can see the skin of that. So,
Yeah, that's fun.
Just supposed to give the impression. Then I started to go, okay, this is cool. I'm liking that. And some of this stuff that you can't see here was this stuff. It's all good. And
that lady says, Gerald, you're so wonderfully talented.
Oh, thank you. I'm working it.
He's having fun.
I am having fun. And this piece was a lot of fun because I was like going, this piece looks like this right here. Almost like I planned that. And so part of me wants to actually hold it like this and to actually stitch this down. So that could be the the tree trunks. Yes. Words hard.
I know. Understood.
So, so I've got that, have all of that. Then I was also, I'm sort of happy with, not sort of, I am happy with the bottom. The bottom is like this. So this has been a lot of fun. This is one where I did create some extra layers here. I created extra layers in the water reflection, and then started to put this here because it reflected the trees, and then this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, I do have to say that one of the things that I have, that's one of my favorite things, is looking at the threads, looking at it from the backside when it's all done.
oh yeah.
Is almost, no offense, even more clever
Mm-hmm.
than the front.
Yes. Yeah. So this was fabric that I knew I had. I hadn't actually put it in the piece
Mm-hmm.
until day 2, when I was starting to have the colors not right. I don't have enough contrast.
Yeah.
So this contrast is much better. I'm much happier with that. And you can see if we hold like this right here, you can see I'm pretty gosh darn pleased with that.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and if I put this down here, let me put this up. You can really see that this color really makes this pop.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I think more colors will come through. I agree with you. More colors will come through when I'm working with the thread play,
Mm-hmm.
because I am picking the neoniest colors that I can find and the most unexpected colors. Like
Mm-hmm.
something next to this, I would be putting a vibrant yellow and a vibrant orange,
Mm-hmm.
probably a lilac in there, just to help
Yeah.
creating
These
some.
are the broad strokes of the paintbrush right
Yes.
now.
Oh, yeah. Broad strokes. That's good.
Yeah.
What I am enjoying seeing this on camera is this section, this portion is really quite nice. It
Mm-hmm.
really looks like that. It
Mm-hmm.
really looks like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to take a sip. If people have comments, I appreciate it. So, so this is where I got to the point where I went, I had it up on the wall and I went, And then I went, And then I went away and I had some candy and I had some more caffeine and I went,
Hmm.
Third time of me going, hmm.
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
I said I need to switch gears a little bit.
Okay.
So I switched gears. Now, before I mean,
Did your
because I
gears grind? That's my question.
did well, we'll put it this way, the gears were without lubrication and they were starting to go. Um, do you ever do any other type of quilt art besides landscapes? Would you like to? Well, Beth, I'm going to highlight that comment because it's a really nice comment. And it sort of leads into something that Jeffrey was working on. Jeffrey was doing amazing. I mean, he was working on gorgeous blocks, and they were very accurate. I am a
Mm-hmm.
person who I'm sort of like, hey, let's throw this fabric at this piece, this backing fabric, and then stitch on it. I think and I learned this from the project that I will show you next, is getting more accurate with my piecing will be very helpful, because then I will be able to understand a bit more how I can work with these folds.
Yeah.
And and this is me being nice to myself. I have done other types of quilting. I've not done. Have I done landscapes? Well, have I done more than landscapes? I haven't
Yes,
yet.
you have. You did a Frank Lloyd Wright house.
Oh, I did a Frank Lloyd Wright house. Yes, that's true.
Um,
That's true. I do like the idea of your
that.
Jackson Pollock. Jeffrey is a Syrah. Yes,
Mhm.
I believe that's a very nice. description. So Jeffrey and I were on the way home, and I was just like, because I was struggling a bit with going, okay, why am I stuck on this, or why did I pause? And it was a 6-hour drive home, and I went, I've never thought about creating a piece like this in sections. I've always worked on it as a unit. So, that being said, I said to Jeffrey, I wonder what would happen if I took the units that I have, and yes, I said unit. Wonder what would happen if I took these units and used these as the baseline and then create the piece using this as the a starting point. Does that make
Why
sense?
not? Mm-hmm.
So I'm using this here, and then I am going to be fluid and play with it and see what happens. So um, I heard a ding. Was that you, Jamie?
Yes, it was me.
Okay.
Ignore it.
Amanda, I have not done a self-portrait. I have actually, there's a class that is being offered on doing that. I haven't signed up for it yet. Jared, I'm going to have to pull off the freeway and take a photo of the Plate River. It's my fave river in the United States.
Nice.
So thank you, Pamela. So I love, so what I may end up doing, because it's me and it's my stuff, I may actually go, you know what? I'm going to use this as the baseline, and then I'm going to do a whole bunch of thread play with it and layer it. And then I'm going to use this as the starting point for another version of it. I'm going to use this as another version of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use this and see what happens. So that's part of what I'm thinking. It could be a lot of fun. I think it could stretch me, of course. So, and
Well, it
everybody
should
likes to
though.
be stretched.
Yeah. It's scary sometimes, but I think it should because um, I think once you glommed onto this idea, it kind of, the shadows and everything, it all blossomed from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I have to say, I'm very pleased with this. And I'm very pleased with this particular set of mountains. Look at me. I'm like going, I've got, here, got my mountains. And this could be a lot of fun. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Linda. I'm glad people are. I want to share this with people.
Mm-hmm.
I want to share my process. So I'm learning how to do this. And
So, as a side, well, he takes a sip. These cards won't be completely clear, but this is the draw for him when it comes to this process, right? 3 cards. So 3 eagles, 3 levels. Shift your perspective.
nice. I'm writing this down. Hang on.
Oh, I already have a picture of it for you.
Thank you.
That compass. Find your direction, right?
Mm.
Your heart knows the direction, right?
Okay.
So your creative heart went woo. And then I love this because you guys will not be able to see the detail, but there is a little beaver in this. And it's damned emotions may eventually burst forth.
Which is that thing about creativity, unused creativity.
Mm-hmm.
It metastasizes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. So when I think, and I don't have to think this, so it's not like I'm omniscient or all-knowing or even that very important. But when my cards align with his creativity, I'm sorry. The outside is saying, yo, dude, you're on the right page.
Hi, Jeffrey is in the background. Hi, voice of Jeffrey.
Hello.
Hello, voice of Jeffrey.
Hello.
So,
Busy beaver. They are having a staring contest or a private discussion. I'm not sure which. How long do you think it'll take them to figure out that they're actually live and they have guests?
you know what? You know what?
Yes.
This section of the video is brought to you by the word rude. Everyone say it with me. I wasn't going to use the word moist.
I knew what word you were going to use.
Oh, yes. Okay. So Jeffrey's back. So this is all good. And some great comments from people. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You know, what's interesting is as a creative, it can be a challenge to share this.
Oh, sure.
I'm
Gosh,
glad
yeah.
to be able to share it. I figured the only way that I can reach more people, and if people are interested and perhaps inspire someone else, is if they see me doing it. So, you know, and and Linda's probably getting ready to go to her Akashic adventures. She said, "This is so fascinating to watch." And Gerald working the Great Wall for Nancy. Wow, what a dream. Jonathan, would you do a photo of China show for us? Would love to see so much. And oh, Cottonwood Heart. I can see this technique working well for an image of Gaia.
Oh, sure.
I could see that as well. And then we have, I'm so in love with that pea green. Need more of that in my life.
Same.
I love this green. I absolutely love this green. And that is one of the reasons that I like this photo in particular. It's like, holy crap. Love that
Bye,
green.
Linda. Thank you for coming.
Bye, Linda. They have to be somewhere. Oh, yeah. Jonathan can't find him. Well, get on it. No. You
It
shared it.
wasn't that long ago. He can find his pictures.
Yes. Yes, I am having mercy, Pamela. So, and yeah, find those photos. So, okay. So again, I'm going to embiggen myself like this because this is I shared before that.
Oh, look at that color under your ring hand.
This one?
Nope. No, you're married. That hand.
This green?
Nope. Next to it. That one. Oh.
This is what I actually started using for the mountains.
It looks like good water too.
It's water. It's actually water. But
Mm-hmm.
when you have, it's like this with water, but when you do it this way,
oh yeah,
it can be ridges to a mountain.
I love it, Gerald. That's rad.
So, and as I shared before,
not China, New Zealand, you silly.
But as I shared before, it was really beneficial for me to have limited my palette. And when I went in and saw that the mountains that are originally done weren't quite as dark as I had wanted, I was like, okay, I had a background or an extra stash, so I pulled those out.
Yeah, can you bring the box back though? I have one more question about a color. So what's that lightest color that's almost a bluey gray, at least on the camera? Yeah, that one. What's that?
This is a batik. Oops, sorry.
It's okay.
And, it's much bluer than what it is. I think it's a batik. But this is one of those. No, I don't think it's a batik. But what's great is, and I don't know if you can see this, but this is, paying attention to the opposite side really does help. Because if I wanted to make sure that the color was reflected appropriately in the water, I could use this for the sky, and I could use the other side as the reflection.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Amanda Carroll wants to know where you find all your fabrics.
yes, but I'm going to be hashtag I'm a dick, and I'm going to put this up there. Enough excuses.
Ooh.
If I had my fan up here with me, love ya.
Mm-hmm.
Where do I get my fabrics? My fabrics come from,
You heard it here, folks.
yeah, just got a shipment from the place, Lund Fabrics. See if this actually has it, because, yes, here you go. Lund Fabrics. They've been doing this for 30 years. It's beautiful fabrics. And they're eBay. They do it on Etsy. They do it on eBay. They are actually retiring. So what I really recommend is that if you are interested in amazing boutiques that are sustainably created, this place, these people created a whole dang new facility, and they have a water treatment facility so they can recycle the water for the boutiques. It's really amazing. Oh, thank you, Maru. So
look at her.
Maru's on it, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So then I actually went, okay, let's just put this away, because this is what I need to do. So I put it away, and I did bring another project with me. Do people want to see the other project?
Yes, you do. Yes, you
And,
do.
and by the way, many of these fabrics are Lund fabrics, not all of them. So, like, these are not Lund fabrics, but that's okay. These are
2 votes so far for yes.
2 votes for yes. Okay.
No one said no.
No one said no. I want to, so okay. So I'm putting this back here, and I'm actually, if you're watching this in playback, thank you for watching. I am curious. I think I may try that thing, Jamie, to where I go, all right, I'm going to make something with these pieces. The separate things. Okay, yeah. We have a fabric store here in town with a large stock catering to quilters. You're lucky.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. Okay. So I've got a few minutes to be able to show that. So I'm going to put this lovingly away.
Okay.
And this is the other project that I had. This is paper piecing. Are you familiar with paper piecing?
I am. I don't know if our lovely chatters are.
Okay, lovely chatters. Are you familiar with paper piecing? And what impresses me is that we just saw the concept a bit ago, and here it is come to fruition. Almost, Pamela, almost. So I'm working on it. I have to tell you, this sort of thing really excites me. I love it.
So this project, I don't think, and this is what I was talking about earlier, this project, I don't think would have, at least not the way it came about, permeated his brain pan the way it did without other moments happening.
Yes. So, and Amanda says you're familiar with collage. I would say collage is what I was actually doing on the landscape.
I would.
So, and Maru hasn't heard of it, and Joanne, it's similar to collage in the sense of, that's what I'm doing. But this is the piece that I took a class on last year. This is by my sister, and it's called Point the Way, and it's a paper piecing primer pattern. Paper piecing is exceptionally good at helping you to get very, very accurate points. And you have, these are the blocks. And what you do is you make these, you make copies of them. They got to be 100% accurate. And then you sew it together the way the fabric says.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it is with a fabric.
Yep.
So paper piecing, it creates very, very accurate points, amazing points, and you can line things up. If you're, I saw you sewing. Yes, I did post something on this. If you look online for paper piecing quilting, you will see some amazing things that you can create with paper piecing.
Crazy.
Crazy. So what I had is I actually had, see, these are the blocks. What I discovered is I took a class, brown noser, because was the teacher's brother. I got the leftover blocks that people could use. What was interesting was those leftover blocks were printed a slightly different size than the one that I was sewing with. So yes, you're using paper as a template. And you wouldn't want to use cardstock because you're actually sewing through it.
Yep.
You're actually sewing through it so that you get really accurate points. So now, that being said, oh, this is Jacobs. I should probably put this back.
If you hear moaning and groaning in the background, it is not my rear end. It is not my stomach. It is the Doberman.
So, so a lot of times when you're doing paper piecing, it's like newsprint. It's much thinner than printer paper. So anyhow, what I was creating was this. So you can see
see how sharp they are.
They're pretty accurate, of course, except this one. And I did that thing that quilters should never do: point out where it's not perfect.
You shouldn't do that.
So, and so this is where what you did is you actually put these together, and you create this, which was the circle, and then you put 9 of these circles as a 9 patch.
Right.
Now, that being said, I didn't want to do that. No. I wanted to do something different. And so what I was doing is I was playing with it and laying it out in different things. I'll make a video about this if people want to see it. But I love this African fabric. Holy mackerel. I got it off of of Etsy. From it's really, really amazing. What's your pup begging for?
Anything. He wants to go out and chase shadows, birds.
And
he's already been for a walk.
Yeah. So what I was doing is I was laying this out in different sections because they're different. And by the way, when you do something like this is what it looks like. You actually have, this is the right side of the fabric or the piece. You're sewing backwards. And when I were to sew this together with the other pieces, then I would rip out the fabric. Yeah. Vibrant colors. That's why I did that. The Quilt Museum has a huge sale in November, and they always sell African fabric. Ooh, that's cool. So what I did was, let me put this back where this is. I feel like I'm talking really fast. Am I talking too fast, Jamie?
No, you're fine. Okay. I think it shows your passion and excitement, but it's not unintelligible or anything like that.
Good. So what I ended up doing is because my whole idea was to take what would have been this and to make it into something that would be a quilt that I could use. I didn't want a wall hanging. I had initially got so much of this purple fabric that I knew I was going to create a larger quilt. I thought maybe what I'll do is I'll do, you know, um, 12 of these or 18 of them to make a rectangular quilt. Well, what I ended up doing was I ended up creating this. So let me do this. So you can see this is where I have it to a bit of a serpentine thing. And so there's that. And I actually really like how this weaves through. So I'm going to take a sip. And yeah, it looks like a dragon. I thought of that.
Mm-hmm.
And Amanda, I did see a wreath pattern there. And thank you, Jonathan. So now, this being said, what actually happens is I am, because here you can see what I did. This piece is reflected here. So that's there. And then another, it's also reflected here because this is the same thing. Just do it twice. Now, that being said, these two pieces here aren't supposed to go next to each other. These pieces aren't supposed to go next to each other either. Now, it's Gerald, and I said, well,
Not supposed
going
to.
to figure out how to make this work because I really, really like this. Because my idea is to have this down one. Oh, here, you can't see that. Why am I holding that up? This down one side of the quilt and then have the rest of it be this beautiful purple grunge. So now, that being said, I had to figure out how to make this work because if I were to do this, look what happens if I were to do that. And I'm putting more. It doesn't actually. I have this weird thing. I have this gap here, and I had to fill in the gap. And so I thought, what I'll do is I'll just add a piece of fabric here. And I thought, that's perfect. Well, it is perfect if everything were going to be exactly right and matching.
Right.
It's not. So how about a quilt of vintage tarot backs? I'd love a quilt throw. If you can find fabric with that, that would be freaking awesome. So, and oh yeah, thank you. It does look like a dragon. I actually kind of love it. Vintage, comfortable, breathable, decorative bedding. Okay, must be something cool. Anyhow, purchase responsibly, know your limits.
Don't blame it on him.
Yes, use the gray in that space. Well, Joanne, that's an interesting thought, but I wanted to do much more of I wanted it to the background to be all of the same so that these beautiful colors really popped forward. And so what I was doing is I was sewing them together. And what I did, those of you who sew, are you familiar with partial seams? And yeah, the partial seams are something that they're once you know and you understand how to do them, they work fine. I was going to have to because I wanted to make sure that this and this matched. So I was having to line this up. And when you line things up like this, you actually have to be very careful because you have 1/4 of an inch. And if you don't line it up properly, can you see how that's off?
Yeah, meet.
So, part of it is like, it was playing with my mind. So I was having to make this work. And so what I did, the first 2 times I did it, it didn't work. The rest of the times I figured it out, because what I was going to do is I was going to match these. By gosh, by gum, I was going to make sure that they worked. And and so they did work like this. This is pretty dang close.
Mm-hmm.
And this one works pretty smartly.
Mm-hmm.
But then I had, this is the extra piece right here.
Yeah.
So what I was having to do, because what I did was is I sewed this extra piece on, then I sewed that, and then I had to figure out, okay, where is this going to sit here and match this, because we have just about 1/4 of an inch from this piece to here to the new one. It's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Anyhow, Jonathan's phone's almost dead. So similar to working with stained glass. It really is, Joanne. That's so true. So what I did is I slowed down. It's a hard thing for Gerald. And I went, I can make this work. So I did partial seams. So I sewed down to here. I did partial seams. And then when I got this connected here, then I went on the other side, and then I sewed them all together. So there's a lot of fabric or joining right here. So using fabric colors rather than labor would take OMG. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so here's the other side of that, just in case you were curious. I don't know if you're curious about that.
I am. I always am curious about the backside.
So what I found is that doing the paper piecing, because these sections are paper pieced, it works best to iron these open. And then I ironed the opening of where I connected the fabrics here.
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
And I'm just, to be honest with you, I'm just glad to have these done and not puckering.
Absolutely.
So, because what was happening, and I think I sent Jamie a picture of it, and I'm like, it might be helpful if I actually use a purple thread, because I was using like an orange,
yeah,
and a chartreuse.
Yep.
So, but let's see if I can, because I think I fixed most of the pieces. Yeah, you can't really see. You can see a little bit of the fabric, the thread right there.
Yeah.
And
I like that it's not completely gone, because it tells the story of the production.
yeah. So what I'm going to do is this is about 6 feet tall, 6 feet long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take these leftover 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces, and I'm also going to string this along like I did here. And then one side of it is going to be this from top to bottom, and then this is going to float to the side. So that will be the design. And then I got creative. I thought, oh, I will do something like this. And what I was playing with didn't actually work.
Yeah.
So I was like going, well, that's interesting. I'm seeing a flag, seeing it as a flag in a summer. Seeing it as a summer flag in the breeze. Yeah, you're right. It will be a blanket. Yes, it will. I do have some other ideas to use for this African fabric, as well as this purple, because I was doing some interesting cutting. I'm hoping I can have enough of the purple fabric, because I was like going, ooh, let's try this, let's try this. So
Mhm.
we will see.
Yeah, I think you landed on an amazing idea.
Yeah. Thank you. I did
Mm.
send this to my sister who created it, and she's like, and it's funny you should send me that, because I am actually, she was working on some other pieces,
Mhm.
and because she's teaching the class again,
Mhm.
she was working on other pieces and how to make it larger, and how to,
Right.
because you can get a really beautiful design using this with like a print, like here, but then a, um, a a fabric that would support it, so it has a different feel. So
Mhm.
so yeah, there's that. So woo. So it will be a blanket because I want it to be a blanket, and there is this idea of modern quilts. Modern quilts have a very much of a feel of there's large spanses of plain fabric, and that is partially how my brain operates when I'm doing artwork. I like that expanse, so I like the idea of, modern whatever. So I think it'll be fun. And okay, make sure the stream across is far enough from the edge to stay on top of the bed, or do you want it around the side? I'm not sure, Maru. That's an interesting question. So, and they can look like pin. Yes, these look like the pinwheels. You're right.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, and yeah, the fabric prints tell a story.
Mhm.
I let me tell you, I bought a whole lot of this fabric. These people saw me when they
They marked him as he came in the
they
door.
marked me, and I even, and I even did some like this where I was using the 5-inch squares, and I was
Mhm.
playing with them just to see what they would look like,
Right.
and they're gorgeous.
Mhm.
This is something that I'm going to do on the back of the quilt. Play with that.
Yeah, it's gonna
So,
be rad.
and
I
then we have
love that one.
lots of pink.
Ah,
So
fire.
yeah, it's so cool.
Mhm.
All right, so that's the update. We are almost at an hour. Jamie, do you have any questions for me?
I don't, but I will always tell you that this is always amazing to watch and hear and see where you get to. And I know that you're a creative perfectionist of sorts, but
Mhm.
and I don't need errors pointed out. Um,
Yeah.
I like knowing though that it's not perfect because that tells the story too.
Yep. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be perfect. No one, nothing, anything is perfect.
So thank you. While I was working on this, and I'm watching Jeffrey create his
Mm.
amazing quilt pieces.
Wasn't
Um,
it like 19?
there were 12 blocks. Yeah,
I thought there were. Okay, where's the 19 coming from in my head from our texting?
I don't
Uh,
know.
I don't know. I'll think about that. All I know is that the colors got more fabulous as he went along.
Yeah. And yes, Joanne, I've actually seen and
Mm-hmm.
I've read about the part that quilts played in the Underground Railway, and it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Very much
really
so.
fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
And imperfection is proof of nature. Yeah. So I think, I after this, once I figured out how to do it, I suddenly went, oh, I can do any type of paper piecing that I want, because it really is so accurate. It's delightful. It's delightful. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So there's that. Thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for joining me, Jamie.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
Because I was just like, Jamie's like, well, what am I going to do? You're going to keep me on task and keep me on point.
You did well. You
Well,
did
thank
really well.
you.
Yeah.
I am hoping to be able to do more videos like this to where people get to see the process.
Mm-hmm.
I like sharing the process. It also is a great opportunity for me to go, you know what? I like this and I want to do more of this. So,
Well,
you know,
I can see you doing a class just like your sister does, except for yours will be thinking outside of the quilt and
mm,
having fun with that.
yeah. Well, thank you. I also want to talk more about color because I've done
Mm-hmm.
a color confidence for quilters workshop
Yep.
and exploring that. That's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, thank you, JCat lady.
Mm-hmm.
Good to
It
see
is
your
family
process, Gerald. Thank you.
and your
And
progress.
progress. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we will see you all again. Thank you so very much for joining me. Any last minute thoughts, Jamie?
No, but Maruta just made me remember. There we go.
There you go. And here, let's,
Hmm.
there you go. We can do that and then we can do this. So, boom.
Woot woot.
So, all right. Everyone, take care. We will see everybody later. Bye.